Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something really cool, how AI is basically turning all of us into our own personal data detectives.
I mean, just think about it for a second. What if you could look at, I don't know, a giant pile of numbers, or a super dense article, or even just a picture, and ask it, so what's the real story here?
Well, here's the crazy part. That's not some sci-fi movie concept. You can do that right now with AI. And believe me, it is changing everything about how we find truth in this, sea of information we're all swimming in.
Okay, so let's get into it. We are absolutely drowning in data, right? But most of it feels locked away. To find the clues inside, to really see the hidden patterns, you used to need a special key. Well, AI is that key. It's the detective who can finally sift through all that noise and pull out the actual story.
I mean, just think back a few years. If you had a bunch of data you wanted to understand, you had to be an expert, right? You'd be sitting there typing out lines and lines of code in like R or Python. It was slow, it was manual, and for most people, totally inaccessible. And that's why this shift it's just massive. We've gone from needing to speak the computer's language to the computer finally learning to speak ours. So instead of these complex commands, we're just asking questions in plain English. The barrier to entry, poof, it's gone.
So, every good detective has a toolkit, right? A magnifying glass, fingerprint dust, that kind of thing. For our AI detective, the tools are visualizations, charts that turn messy, raw data into these aha moments. Let's check out a few of them.
Okay, first up in the toolkit, the bubble chart. This thing is brilliant. It lets you see how like 3 or 4 different things relate to each other all at once. The position of the bubble, how big it is, even its color. Each part tells you something different. It's awesome for spotting the outliers, the things that just don't fit the pattern.
All right, time for our first case file. Let's go to Hollywood. We want to crack the code on blockbuster movies. What really makes a film a huge hit? Is it how long it is? The genre? How many people liked it? Let's put our AI detective on the case.
And you know what? The process was almost laughably simple. We gave the AI a basic list of movies from IMDb. Then we just asked it a plain English question, like I'm talking to you right now. Hey, show me how the money, the audience votes, the runtime, and the genre all connect. And boom, instantly the AI spits out our first set of clues. And just like that, the story starts to appear. Clue number 1, check this out. Inception. Tons of viewers, huge fan favorite, right? But not the top earner. Not even close. That title belongs to the real giants, like Star Wars and Avengers. And look at the clusters. See all those blue bubbles floating around? That's our AI telling us that sci-fi movies are consistently big moneymakers. But my favorite clue? It's this little group over here, the yellow bubbles. Those are animated films. Shorter runtimes, but still pulling in great money. How interesting is that?
Okay, next tool from the kit. This is a radar chart, sometimes called a spider chart. This one's perfect for when you want to look at just one thing, but see how it measures up across a bunch of different categories. It gives you this instant profile, all its strengths and weaknesses, clear as day.
All right, so our AI detective did great with a clean spreadsheet. But what about a messier clue? For case number 2, we're going undercover. We're diving into the super competitive world of fast food. Yep, it's the burger wars.
So, who really makes the best burger? It sounds like a simple question, but you and I both know the answer is complicated. It's not just about how good the food is. It's about the service, the price, the vibe, the whole shebang. And here's where it gets really cool. Our source material, it wasn't a nice, neat spreadsheet. It was just an image, a screenshot of a table from some online article. Think about that. 10 years ago, getting the data out of that picture would have meant someone sitting there, typing every single number into a file. So tedious.
But with today's AI, we just feed it the picture, it instantly recognizes the text, it understands that it's looking at a table, and it just pulls the data right out. So for example, we can immediately see how Five Guys, Burger King, and McDonald's stack up against each other on just one thing, food quality.
This right here is a total game changer. I mean, the ability to show an AI a picture of a table and just say, hey, turn this into data for me, it feels like a superpower. And the AI did it perfectly, pulling out a complete data set for all 14 burger joints across 8 different categories.
Okay, so our detective has cracked a spreadsheet and an image. For our last case, we're taking on the messiest crime scene of them all, the internet itself. We're going to try and read the collective mind of online shoppers by digging into thousands of product reviews.
Now, when you or I look at a web page with reviews, we see star ratings, people's comments, useful stuff. But to a regular computer program, it just sees this, a giant, intimidating wall of code. Pulling useful info out of that used to be a really specialized, tricky job.
But not anymore. Now we can show that messy wall of code to an AI and just ask it to find the patterns. The AI is smart enough to figure out, okay, this bit of code is the star rating, this is the review text, that's the date, and so on. And then it organizes it all into a beautiful, clean, structured table for us.
And here's the real magic. After looking at thousands of reviews for, say, a smart door lock, the AI doesn't just give you a list. It groups them by what people are actually talking about. So it found that, hey, 65% of people had a good experience. They loved how easy it was to install. But a pretty big chunk, 25%, had problems, mostly with things like screw holes not lining up. See, that's not just data anymore. That's real, actionable intelligence a company can use. So, what's the final verdict from our investigation today? It's pretty clear. The ability to find the real story hiding in the data, to get those powerful insights, it's not just for a handful of experts anymore. It is officially a tool for everyone.
And this is happening at the perfect time, because the amount of data we're creating is, well, it's exploding. Get this, 90%. 90% of all the data that exists in the entire world was generated in just the last 2 years. The mysteries are just getting bigger and more complex, and we desperately need these better tools.
And that's really the heart of it, isn't it? With AI as your partner, you're not just passively consuming information anymore, you get to be an active investigator. You have the tools right now to ask your own questions and find your own answers.
Which of course leaves us with one final really exciting question. If you can now put on that data detective hat, what secrets are we all going to uncover next? What breakthroughs are waiting to be found? The case, my friends, is officially open.